Live.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother. What we do here is go back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live chat with me and Jessi. I'm Steven Jensen. That's Jessi Davin.
What up?
What's up, Jessi?
Nothing much. What's up? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yay.
We don't know for sure what we're going to talk about today. I know in the description it says we'll talk some WWE being an essential business in Florida, which, definitely polarized
Got some scoops.
on that.
Got some scoops.
Got
Local
some, yeah,
scoops.
got the scoops. We'll talk some like XFL and stuff like that. But if there's anything that y'all want us to talk about specifically, just let us know in the chat. If you send a super chat, like always, your question, statement, comment will be prioritized. If you're like our man Stephen Fate, who's in the chat, thank you for joining us again today. Sometimes he just drops us money without any comment or statement or anything, which we appreciate that also. But feel free, if you spend the money, we are more than willing to deep dive on whatever you want us to talk about.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about Raw today also, last night's Raw show. So I guess before we start like really digging into this, Jessi, is there anything that you want to start off with?
No, not really. I guess, kind of locally here, the big news is why is WWE considered essential? Even my mother-in-law in Ohio is posting about why is WWE essential. They're kind of making it political, which I really don't want to. I want to tread lightly on that. But that's like the big news. It's a super crappy day outside here in Florida, which is unusual. So perfect day to snuggle up and discuss all things wrestling that we can.
Yes, for sure. And I don't know how long we'll go for today.
We're just
We go
shooting the
between like
shit,
an hour and 2 hours. I don't know. We'll hang it.
depending on the scoops.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on. Um,
Yes.
oh, and also if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which you should, because then you'll know when we're going live. I feel like we need to mention this every time, but like these are always kind of spur of the moment things. So if you're subscribed to the channel, then you'll know when we're going live. And me and Jesse always try to keep y'all updated on Twitter.
Yeah.
We still don't have like a set schedule for this, so we appreciate everyone just coming in, kind of just on a spur of the moment thing. And if you do subscribe to the channel, you should see something on the screen. I just
Something
tried on my
fun.
second channel, so we'll see if that worked or not.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't see nothing.
I don't see nothing either.
Are you in your Streamlabs?
Streamlabs on? Maybe I need to turn Streamlabs.
Yeah, you probably do.
So while we're doing that,
Oh wow, Paul.
I-
Yeah, Paul says that they were talking about WWE being an essential business on CNN this morning. Let's see. We also have. Let's just go through the chat. It said,
Yeah.
"Good afternoon here from Germany," and I said, "Guten Tag, Julian. Wie geht es dir denn?" He said, "Mir geht es ganz gut und dir, Jessie?" Ich bin ganz gut auch. Let's see what else. Love the show. We love you, Steven. Paul. So we just went over what Paul said. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a national topic. I feel like it's a pretty big deal. And Tim Last, welcome, Tim, said, "I wonder if the reports USA Fox forcing their hand led to WWE, Florida government making this decision. TV deals right now is WWE's only major income. I did hear this discussed on Wrestling Observer Live yesterday with Brian Alvarez and Mike Sempervive. Shout out to them. Yeah, I feel like here's my thing. If the contract states that they have to have a live show, why don't they just have someone like live in a studio, like say they're live, have them at home in their home studio, kind of like the local news does. So they're social distancing, have like, I don't know, Michael Cole, whoever, just in there, and then show the matches that you've taped. Show those. You've been showing Royal Rumbles, like hour-long Royal Rumbles. You've been showing 30-minute WrestleMania matches. I feel like there's ways that WWE could work around this while still sticking to their contract that can keep everyone safe and keep the networks happy. Now, I don't know how these contracts are structured. I'm not a contractual lawyer. I don't know anything about contracts because I didn't go to school for that. So I don't really know. However, I feel like this is just WWE pulling out an excuse. And when I'm critical of WWE, and I believe, Steven, obviously, I believe this goes for you as well. When we talk about WWE and we criticize WWE, there is no way that we are actually like criticizing the wrestlers for doing their job. The wrestlers, the officials, the employees of WWE are just doing what they're told. They are just trying to keep their jobs like everyone else in this economy. So I feel like we shouldn't I don't know if anyone is personally attacking these people for going out and doing their job, but I feel like it's important to make note that these people are just trying to do their job. They're trying to entertain us. They're trying to make us happy, and I'm super grateful for that, but I also care about their well-being and their health and their family's well-being and their health, and as a Florida resident, a Central Florida resident's well-being and health. So I'm going to be very critical of WWE for this.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. By the way, I just sent a test donation, so like that, whatever pops on the screen, I just wanted to see if Streamlabs is working.
Okay.
Don't know if it is or not.
I don't see anything.
With it right now at the moment, but either way, if you do send a super chat or anything, we will still see it, and hopefully Streamlabs starts working here soon so that we get the alerts on the screen. But yeah, it's weird. The whole thing is weird, and I'm totally with you with like, what do you do if you're the talent? Like, I saw some, I think they were legitimate lawyers. I saw some people on Twitter that were like quote tweeting like the Pro Wrestling Sheet story about it being an essential business, and they were saying like, this is ridiculous. If you've been like let go by the WWE, or you get let go by the WWE in the future, or if you don't feel safe performing and you're being pressured into performing, like hit me up, because these are like lawsuits are coming. Like
Yeah.
and that's the weird kind of trade-off, right? Is like,
Yeah.
do you want to keep your job with the big? I mean, obviously, wearing an AEW t-shirt. I'd love to see some go over to AEW, but it's one of those things where like, if you're like I'm just gonna throw a random name out there, right? If you're like a Zack Ryder who's been like a WWE fan your entire life, and you're really afraid of getting COVID or something, like like if you're concerned about it, and then you decide like, hey, I don't feel safe going to these shows and touching other people and being around people, and like we know that somebody tested positive in the company, we don't know who, like if you don't feel safe doing that and then like you get fired or you get punished for it, like Roman Reigns is a perfect example. What I feel like Vince can't be happy about him not doing WrestleMania and stuff. So like what's going to happen to Roman Reigns? Like, because he had legitimate reason for not wanting to do the show for a lot of reasons.
Oh, for sure. And I'm going to send you over right now. I'm sending you over what the Florida on Skype. I'm going to send you over the Florida executive stay-at-home order. I just sent you a list of what businesses are considered essential. Let me send you over the actual, because I actually kind of did a little mini deep dive into this. But you're so right. You're so right. Like, what do you do? Like, if I'm some talent, I'm like, not only am I morally conflicted, I'm emotionally conflicted, and I'm contractually conflicted. Like this this to me, I feel so bad for these wrestlers. I really do. I I don't know. I don't know I don't know what I would do. I don't know. Let's see, can I save this?
Oh, and hey, Corey Williams, thank you very much for the super chat. It came
Oh, nice.
donation. Did you donate through YouTube or through PayPal? Well, actually, it had to have been YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yay.
We're still trying to figure out like exactly how all this works on the stream, but thank you so much, Corey. I'm gonna read his statement real quick. To be honest, I appreciate it as a sports fan. I'm really bored, so it's nice to have something consistent and something that hasn't changed. I totally agree with that. Like, it's great as a fan that
Yes.
something to watch, but if the trade-off is, everyone being safe. I mean, here's the thing. Imagine if more performers wind up getting, I don't want to mention, I know I already have, but YouTube's being weird about the word COVID. Like, they're just being weird. So,
CV.
yeah. So if more people wind up getting that in the company, especially if somebody winds up like dying from it at some point, like imagine.
God forbid. God forbid.
It's almost, I know it's a different scenario, but it's almost like, I'll mention his name because this won't get us in trouble. It's just kind of shitty to give him the praise, but like it's kind of like Chris Benoit. Like I can't go back and watch Chris Benoit matches. Like because I feel fucking guilty. Like I'm watching this guy and I know what happened later on, and I know what this was doing to his head, and all these bumps and all those chair shots and the diving headbutts and the tope suicidas where he's hitting the guardrail on the way out with his head and all that stuff. It's the same kind of idea where it's like, I love that the WWE's putting shows on because it's something for me to watch, but I also feel kind of guilty watching it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I felt that way last night too. I was like, man, I really want to support the heck out of these wrestlers. And I really, really do appreciate so much that this company is doing this to keep us entertained. Like, I really do appreciate it. And I hope that my gratitude is never lost in my criticisms. I know there's so many pop-ups, by the way, on that thing. But I felt morally conflicted. I was like, should I support this? Do I want to support a company just outright putting people at risk for the sake of entertainment? And then, then I kind of saw, because at first I was like, well, I don't believe, like, I honestly thought that WWE just thought that they were an essential business and was just going about saying they were and begging for someone to question them. That was before I figured out that our governor had allegedly considered them an essential business. So I'm like, well, at least they're like not breaking the rules, so to speak. So I felt a little better, but at the same time, I'm so conflicted as a fan. Do I want to watch and support these people putting their health at risk. I want to support the wrestlers. I want to support the camera people. I want to support the production staff. I want to support the referees. I want to support, you know, the commentators, the backstage people, the makeup artists, the costume people. There's so many people behind the scenes, you know. It's like, yeah, I do, but I don't want to support just blatant like disregard for the situation. And then they had the audacity to like run a stay-at-home campaign. Like,
Right. Yeah, that is funny.
you know, it is. It's morally conflicting for me, and it's just I feel bad. I feel bad for all the wrestlers. I mean, if they want, you know what? And there's a whole other argument to be made. Do they, you know, some of them want to do this. Some of them enjoy this. This is their life. So they're, I mean, technically they're putting their lives at risk every time they get in the ring, um, potentially setting up for injury. So what is this any different? I just feel like when they step in the ring and they get hurt, they're not putting me at risk. But when you're traveling and you could potentially have a virus that is killing people, you're not just hurting people in the ring. You could potentially spread this to people outside of the ring and cause an outbreak in the area that I live in. And so that kind of
Right.
hits home for me. So it's like you're not just putting yourself at risk anymore. You're putting a lot of people at risk here. And that's kind of the problem I have with it.
Well, and think about it, like statistically speaking,
Demon Diva's
person.
here. Hi.
Hello, Demon Diva. Welcome, welcome. Um, the think about who's the most at risk too, statistically, is like Vince McMahon. Like, you know what I mean? Like the guy who's like making these decisions to like continue to run the shows.
Hmm.
If he got contracted with this, like his, you know what I mean? Like someone who's like
Right.
young and healthy without any like pre medical issues and stuff like that, you're still at risk, but like you're at less risk. If you're like Vince McMahon and you contract something like this, like the chances aren't good for you. You know what I mean?
No.
And I know that Vince feels like he's invincible. That there's no way, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
talking about like people like cameramen and women and ring crew and all these other people that could be affected by this. I mean, the guy at the tippy top is probably the most at risk of anybody in the company, and he's the one who still wants to put these shows on, which is, it's just, I don't know. I mean, we all know that Vince McMahon's nuts. I mean, we all know that, but like
Hmm.
this is like a whole nother level of like, it's weird. It's weird though because like AEW, I feel like is doing a great job with these empty arena shows, and like I feel like I'm not as upset about it for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know if it's just my bias towards AEW right now over WWE,
Yeah.
but like because no one's really talking about that either. Like everyone's kind of like shitting all over WWE doing these shows, but no one's really saying screw AEW for doing these shows. I don't really hear that much.
Yeah, I think are they doing it live? I thought that. Thank you, Stephen Fate, by the way. Thank you for sending the super chat that you love the show. And
Thank
Hunter's
you.
Point, God bless y'all. Hope y'all are both doing great this morning. Thank you. We are. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Everybody in there being super nice. Um, but yeah, I thought AEW taped a bunch of shows. I thought last week was taped.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that maybe that is the big difference. That they are doing it that way. At the end of the day, there's still people together, and they're still
Hmm.
touching each other for the matches and stuff. But it's I don't know. Maybe they just have it under better control, and we also haven't heard anybody from that company that is contracted it either. Whereas the WWE, like we know somebody did test positive.
Yeah, and I feel like with AEW, I feel like they did tape a bunch of shows. I think I'm almost certain that AEW was taped because they did a lot of those like vignettes, like that hour
Yeah,
long vignette where
you're right.
almost John Moxley was and Jake Hager were doing the like I don't know, just it was like very UFC.
It was well
Um,
done. You're right.
it was
I
well
forgot
done. It
about
was
that.
super vanilla to me.
Oh,
Like
really?
I liked the first one, but then I was like, oh, okay, come on, we get it. Um, but anyways, like they've taped it, and a thing that I think they did was Adam Page is doing this whole like staying at home is cowboy shit.
Yeah.
And it's really funny, like and he did like the whole Dynamite intro with like the weird color pop kind of things in the back where he's like doing like all of his normal at home activities, and I thought that was really fun. If
Clever.
AEW were to do something live, I think I would definitely criticize them for that too. But I don't know. They're not going out there and going live and saying, stay at home. They're not contradicting themselves. They're not saying we are holier than thou. Like WWE, they're not saying they're interwoven into society. Like,
True. Very true. Those
okay,
are great points that I
you know,
didn't consider. And there's people in the chat that are saying, AEW's taped through May and stuff like that, which I think that you're right. I know where they did these tapings at. They're in Atlanta. They're like very close to where I live, as a matter of fact. I know exactly where these have been taking place. I just didn't know. I will say this. I know where these are taking place is somewhere that you can very easily control how many people are there and going in and out. So like they it's similar to the performance center. It's almost the same kind of concept that they have kind of set up here. So it's something where like I believe that AEW did it all the right way, especially if they pre-taped all their shows. But
and I think they got stopped by the police as well. They got like questioned by the law enforcement.
yeah, it's so weird. And let us know in the chat what you think though. Like, should WWE be considered an essential business? Do you like that they're running shows? Do you not like that they're running shows? I'm right in the middle. I'm right on the fence where it's like I like that they're putting on shows because it's something for me to watch as a wrestling fan. But on the other side of it, like if I was a performer for the WWE and I felt like I was being pressured into something I didn't want to do, because once again, I don't want to compare this stuff to like other tragedies in wrestling, but like I feel like I have to. Like it's been said a million times, and we're gonna see it on the Dark Side of the Ring. I think at the last episode of this season, like it's been said a million times. Owen Hart never wanted to do the stunt that killed him.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
he was
Oh, I
afraid of the
just got
stunt.
chills.
But the reason I bring it up is like I don't like the idea of anybody doing anything that like they're not comfortable with doing because really bad stuff can happen when you're like either like your confidence isn't there or like there's something kind of weird mentally where like you have a really bad feeling about something and then you go through with it anyway and then like the worst case scenario happens and then the rest of the time everyone's sitting there going, man, I wish he would have went with his gut and just stuck to what his gut feeling was because then something terrible happened. Like
Yeah.
you just never want to see that happen in
No, you don't.
any scenario. November 15th says, they have political relations. Yeah, 100% they have.
Yeah, and that's something I really want to tread lightly with because I don't want to get like political on here. Obviously, I was actually looking into, um, and this is just my own research. I could be completely wrong. Basically, because I was wondering myself. This was like a couple weeks ago. How could WWE be essential? Blah blah blah. And like I said, I looked into the executive order. I looked into what is deemed an essential service. I kind of looked into who deems something an essential service and what an exception would be. Basically, it's like the state and local like health officials. And so I looked at the city where the performance center is and where Full Sail is. And their like a local health person is actually from like Stamford, Connecticut, or like near Stamford, Connecticut. Like
Oh,
has
coincidence,
Connecticut
yeah.
connections.
Sure.
Which could just be coincidence, obviously. Um, which was
Well, kind of.
interesting.
There's nothing else in Stamford, Connecticut, by the way.
Yeah.
WWE headquarters. So.
So it was just something I was looking at, and then I'm looking right now at the government publication Guidance Essential Critical Infrastructure Workforce under Communications and Information Technology. That's the executive order, which let me look at and clarify this. Um, Okay, safer at home. Essential services. Essential services also include business activities. This is on page 3, section 2, line B. Essential services also include businesses activity designated by the executive order and its attachment, which was by Miami-Dade. Here, C. Other essential services may be added under this order with the approval of the state coordinating officer in close coordination with the state health officer. The state coordinating officer shall maintain an online list of essential services as specified in this order with any approved additions. The online list shall be available on the Division of Emergency Management's website, floridadisaster.org or floridahealth.gov. Essential activities, this is section 3.
I'm trying to follow along here on the stream too while you're reading.
Yeah, okay, so section 3, line C, a social gathering in a public space is not an essential activity. Local jurisdictions shall ensure that groups of people are not permitted to congregate in any public space. This is important. The performance center is a private space. Here in where I live, in my county, I'm not going to say the name, we had issues with people like throwing backyard parties. And our sheriff straight up came out and said, listen, we can't do anything. That's private property. As soon as they leave, if they're in a group of 10 or more people, we can do something. But if they are congregating on a private area, we can't do anything. So I feel like that's also important to do as well. And by the way, this is not defending WWE. This is just me trying to provide an explanation as to
Right.
how the hell this is able to happen.
Yeah. Well, these are all great points too, because this is stuff that like I know I haven't looked this deep into it personally.
Oh, I dug deep. Yeah.
Um,
So,
I'm gonna mention Demon Diva with a good comment that we kind of touched on briefly. I also fear what she says. I also fear what's going to happen for those who refuse to work. How long they'll have heat for? Their booking will be trash. Kind of mentioned that a minute ago. Like, I agree. I think Roman Reigns is like the main example of that. Like, who knows what it's going to look like for him when he comes back? Because I feel like Vince is not going to be happy about the situation. Now it's the WWE's own fault. Like all of this. Like they're the ones who put the title on Bill Goldberg. They're the
for no
ones
reason.
who, right. They're the ones who decided, okay, well now that the whole thing was obviously built towards getting the belt back on Roman Reigns. So, that was obviously the plan. That was the match for WrestleMania. Where WWE really dropped the ball is that they continued to promote a match week after week, knowing, and the whole world already knew he wasn't doing the show. Like he had said it himself. So like it's one of those things where like the WWE kept promoting a match they knew wasn't going to happen, and then they were booked into a corner because Goldberg didn't extend his contract past WrestleMania. They had to take the belt off of him.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was wondering what the hell happened with that.
Yeah, he just from what I understand, he refused to work past WrestleMania. Like his deal was till Mania, and then he refused to I think they asked him to stay a little bit longer, and he wouldn't do it. So it's one of those things where like they're just booked into this corner, right? And I feel like they're just blaming Roman for it, where it's like, well, because of you, we had to put the title on.
That's so horrible.
When he should have never even been considered to begin with, considering his history of cancer. He should have never even been. It's one thing to promote him for the match when nobody knew this whole pandemic was going on. That's one thing. Once this all started, the WWE should have been outright and honest about it and said, hey, Roman Reigns, Joe Anoa'i, however you say his last name, he publicly told all of you a year or so ago that he battled cancer and then he beat cancer for the second time in his life. And it's something that's always going to be something that we have to consider his health as a performer. It's not safe for him to be on this show. And we're sorry for those of you who really wanted to see Goldberg versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but we have to put Roman Reigns' health first. And
right.
Everybody would have understood that. There would have been no problem from anybody if the WWE would have just been honest about it and then started promoting Strowman's next or Goldberg's next match. They had 2 full weeks or maybe even longer that they knew Roman wasn't going to be there.
Right.
For them to, if Roman comes back and he's punished for that, if I'm him, I'm calling up a certain lunatic fringe and going, hey, bud, on over there.
Right.
I feel like they're treating you guys a lot better than I'm being treated over here. It's just crazy to think. And Demon Diva also says, I'll kill for Roman, though. Fuck with them. Yeah, don't you? Do you have I think her Yorkie is named Roman. I think I've.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Yorkshire Terriers, by the way. As odd as that may sound, coming from a single, straight, 31-year-old male, I love Yorkies. Those are my dogs. I had one when I was a kid. So his name was Kirby. Love that guy. He's the best. So shout out to all Yorkshire Terriers out there. So.
Yes.
What are your thoughts though? Like, do you think that Roman's gonna be punished after this, or do you think it's like too tone deaf? Like, there's no way WWE would knowingly bury him, knowing that the fans know what's going on.
I would say that there's no way that WWE would do that and that it would be tone deaf, but it's WWE, and so I can't say that, but I feel like Roman Reigns is too vital of a piece of the WWE infrastructure, and his whole like comeback story, CV aside, this whole thing is very inspiring, and I feel like that was such like a pivotal moment in WWE history. They had the person that got booed the most, booed, straight up booed, and was despised, instantly turned babyface because of a real life thing and a real life triumph. And I feel like that's such an important thing that WWE can't just put aside. They have to say this makes total sense. Your immune system is horribly compromised. Your safety is at risk, even if no one has tested positive. I don't want to put your health at risk. You're like the number one people that need to stay home. So stay home. You've got this campaign running, WWE, to stay home. So let him stay home. Like, he's just following the CDC. You cannot. And like you said, the attorneys that are saying, if you get, punished for this, for staying home, I mean, I feel like they would have a good case, but it's very difficult to say that their burial or their like lack of a push would be because of this. I feel like that's really difficult to like prove in court. But
Right. Well, you could conceivably prove that he was set to main event WrestleMania for the main title, and then he came back and he's losing to Elias or whatever. That, you know what I mean? Like, if some,
yeah.
I personally, I don't think that they'd be dumb enough to just like outright bury the guy. I saw somebody in the chat. November 15 says, I don't think Roman will be punished, but they got a new poster boy in Drew McIntyre. Maybe they'll like try to kind of relay the push onto someone like Drew, although it's two separate shows.
Yeah, two separate shows.
But I do understand what you're saying there. Like, it looks like they're kind of building McIntyre as like the next kind of big. But I don't know. But are they? I don't know. It's tough. His title reign is still so new that like it's really hard for me to know how they're really going to handle it. And then how are the fans going to respond once there's fans in the arena to him being his champion? That's going to be really telling as well.
Yeah.
There's no reason for the fans to reject him, but I'm just saying, like, you just never know. Like, he might show up and just like it's a flat reaction from the fans, and that's going to put Vince in like in panic mode and put the belt right back on Brock probably, if you know. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
Times.
It really is, and it is one of those things. Like, we were talking about that in the beginning, like from the get-go, when shit got really real. It was like, what are they gonna do? How are storylines with no fans gonna get over? And it is gonna be really interesting whenever fans get back into the audience, how things will go, how this whole like break from live crowd shows will shape the future of the WWE, from then, here, and now, whatever. What do they say? Then, now, forever. I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird. I don't want to say it's like gaslighting, but it feels like we're being conditioned, because usually it's like, honestly, to be really real, the crowd reaction subconsciously gives me the same kind of reaction. Like, if the crowd's booing, then there's a part of me that's like, oh, maybe I should be booing, especially if I don't have a preconceived like opinion on somebody. I think it's just the nature of humankind to kind of follow the crowd. Except for like, for me, I love Brock Lesnar, and I don't get why he gets so much hate. But it'll be really weird to see like where like the pack mentality goes. I don't know.
Yeah, either do I. It's gonna be really, really interesting.
It's gonna be crazy.
Back there, I see some other people in the chat. November 15th also mentioning like Steve Austin, or actually, well, yeah, Austin never got punished because he left the company. Then by the time he came back, they were just happy to have him back. I don't think they ever, and he didn't really wrestle anyways. But Elliot Harris.
Yes, I just saw this.
With a good comment. If you want to go and read that off, Jess.
Yeah, the not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something we need to discuss. Not even. Ouch! Oh, I just hurt my toe. Not even acknowledging the the CV situation on air was a massively unwise move by WWE. AEW have been honest about it, and I think that goes a long way. Absolutely. I feel like while I get my deductive reasoning for them not mentioning CV on TV or the situation is because if I was WWE, I would say, listen, we are trying to provide a distraction. We don't want people to even think about that word. We don't want you to have to even worry about that word. Like, let's just have some fun and wrestle and pretend like nothing's going on. But there's no crowd. There's no crowd. There's a limited staff. There's a limited roster. Something's going on. This isn't, we cannot live in fantasy land that much. I cannot suspend my disbelief that much. We have got to talk about what's going on. You have got to provide me with reasoning. If you provide me with the reasoning, why is Roman Reigns out of the main event? Oh, well, he just.
Yeah, they never even explained that at all.
Like, why is The Miz not in there? Oh, because, well, we were doing our screenings. We were doing our proper screenings before our tapings to ensure the safety of our performers, and The Miz had a fever. And so he's not allowed to come in for the safety of our performers and our staff. I'd be like, I get it. Get it.
Right.
Go off. Do your 3-man ladder match or whatever it was. Go off. Sure. Have Braun Strowman fight Goldberg. I'm down. I get it. But instead, they provide no explanation. The casual fan who just tunes in for WrestleMania sees the card and goes, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? They get mad. And then they feel like a jerk when they find out the real reason because they have to do the research.
And by the way, they don't even know which matches are on what shows. So if you paid $30 for night 1 and wanted to see a certain match that was on night 2, you got screwed. You had to buy it twice.
Right.
They don't even know.
Right, and it's. I feel like they need to just acknowledge it because this is a different world we're in. We just can't brush over the fact that our entire livelihoods have changed. And while, yes, it's nice to have a distraction from said situation, it's also comforting to know that it is affecting literally everyone and not just me, not just my family, not just my state, not just my county, not just my country. It's affecting the world.
Right.
And it's comforting to hear that. To me, I can only speak for myself, but they need to talk about it. It's ridiculous. You need to get up there and be freaking real with us because we need a little bit of realness. We need to break kayfabe a little bit, okay? We're in a pandemic.
Yeah, and Corey Williams says, so is the issue a lack of transparency? Yeah, basically. I'm agree with Jessi on this as well. It's just, with the pandemic stuff, I think that, you make a good point. Maybe they just want to, kind of keep people's minds off of it and just not even really talk about it. I understand that, but I think the even bigger issue is like the not telling people what matches are happening on what night of WrestleMania, not explaining why Roman Reigns isn't in the match. I mean, obviously those things aren't nearly as important as the pandemic. It's not even close. But like, fan who's watching the shows, that's where I want the transparency. Is like, I've been told for months that this is what I'm going to be watching for $60, and now, I mean, imagine if, I know it's a weird thing, but like, imagine if like you're only a Miz fan, like, you're an MTV, you grew up,
yes,
you watched Real World New York and Back to New York. I remember watching that a lot. You know what? I'll give y'all let me show y'all something.
Ooh, it's cool.
I'll show you how long I've been down with the Miz. All right.
All right.
Oh, this is in bad shape, but I've still got one of these. So this here is a Be Good, Be Bad, Be Miz hat.
Oh.
This is his first merchandise. This is when he was still on MTV while he was training at UPW. I've been rooting for this guy for a long time.
Oh my god.
I'm a big fan of his show, and then he did all those MTV challenges. So I've been down with the Miz. Like, even though he's not the best in-ring worker of all time, I have a connection to the guy because I've been following him for a long time, and I respect the fact that he took all this money he won through MTV challenges and put himself through wrestling school with that money to do what he wanted to do with his life. I'm all for it. But imagine if you're like that, and you're just really like a big Miz fan, and you buy WrestleMania for $60, and you're not, and for no reason, for as far as you know, for no reason the guy's not on the show. Like,
yeah,
fuck.
That's so true. Like all of Parma, Ohio is just sitting there in their houses and stay at home, drinking their Great Lakes Brewery beer, and they're waiting for the Miz to show up, and all of a sudden there's no Miz. Like, there's Morrison, Where's Cleveland? Where's my Cleveland representation?
Yeah, no.
Where's my 216, bro? What the hell?
Man, if y'all like that, people in the chat seem to like that hat. I'll show the code.
Wear it.
I'll show the code. I'll show the code. I haven't shown that on here.
No, you haven't shown the Cody poster.
I'll show it on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get it off. I gotta take it off my wall, but I'll show it. I have some really cool wrestling stuff in here. I don't have my other camera set up. I can show off like all my little action figures and autographs and shit too, I guess. But yeah, that's fun stuff. I've been down with the Miz for a long time, so yeah, I don't know. And also something else that's worth mentioning.
I have this.
What's that? Old green. What is that?
It's kind of, I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I don't know. My husband got it from his dad, and so it's just sitting next to me, hanging out.
Something else. I think someone mentioned it in the chat earlier. I might have missed it, but something else worth mentioning for sure is like, the UFC has had difficulty. Like they were gonna run UFC 249. It would have been this Saturday out of Tai Chi Palace, Casino and Resort. It's like a Indian reservation in California, and it got shut down. Like basically ESPN and Disney came in and they were like,
"Don't do it."
These shows. But if I'm UFC, I'm looking at what the WWE is doing and being like, wait, they got passed in Florida as essential business. I don't know why the UFC wouldn't go straight to that same area and be like, hey, if you're licensing WWE to do this, like, there's no reason why the UFC couldn't do the same thing. Although they are currently building the infrastructure for Fight Island. I don't know if you've heard about this or not.
Yes, I have.
Amazing. Dana White bought an island, and he's trying to put fights on, like fly all the fighters over in private planes. And the fighters love the concept, most of them. Like, they're, like, jumping on board, like, hey, if we're all getting tested and, like, we can train over. The idea is that they'd go over there and train for, like, 2 or 3 weeks, like, before their fights and cut weight and all that stuff, so they don't have to, like, deal with it while they travel.
Yeah, I have an issue with that though. It's a cool concept, but here's the thing. And I saw Demon Diva say, I'm in CV Ground Zero, which she is. She's in New York. Please be safe. I love you, girl. I know you're staying safe, but please, please, please stay safe. And if you need anything, let me know. She says she gets aggravated when people don't acknowledge it because, yeah, you're there. You see it all the time. Don't act like it doesn't exist because that's completely invalidating the situation. Totally get that. But here's the thing. You said about cutting weight and stuff. When you cut weight, I know this from experience. Believe me, I'm a recovering anorexic. I've had anorexia for 11 years. I know this for a fact. When you cut weight, when you lose weight in a drastic fashion, you completely compromise your immune system. You will get sick so easily. These people are literally turning into immunocompromised people by cutting weight. Not only are they risking their health, which is very, very extremely dangerous, the ways they go about cutting weight in such a fast way, you're completely destroying your immune system and you're opening yourself up to severe infection. And if those guys get sick with the CV while cutting weight, they could get seriously ill. Seriously ill. I know people with eating disorders that are getting severely, severely ill and dying from this. Dying from this.
Yeah. That's a really good point. They have mentioned if a lot of these fighters have said that they would most likely be fighting at catch weights, meaning that they wouldn't have to cut all their normal weight. So it would be more of like, if you normally fight at 170 pounds at welterweight, for instance, like maybe the fight would be more at like 180 or something like that, so that you don't have to worry about that extra. Because here's my thing. As far as MMA is concerned, they have the sanctioned weight classes, for all the titles that they have, but at the end of the day, if two fighters agree to something, like, I'm totally down for it. Like, I don't care if it's in a class. Like, if fighter A wants to fight fighter B and they agree on a weight, I don't care what weight they do it at. Shout out to MMA on Point, by the way. I'm currently editing some videos right now for the channel, so we'll see. You'll see those in the coming days if you're an MMA fan. And on our extras channel and our Brazilian channel. So we have actually 4 channels now. We have a Screen on Point too, talking about movie and TV. A lot of YouTube content. We are busier than ever right now with MMA on Point. Like, it's nuts. So it's been fun. I've been with those guys for like 2.5 years now already, which is crazy.
Yay, they treat you well.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of cutting weight, this is a good caveat or a good transition. I'll show the Cody poster because it's a high school wrestling poster. So
Yes.
let me show you all this.
Yes, you guys. He went to high school with Cody Rhodes. No joke. No lie. Look at
No
this
lie.
poster.
I
Look at this
love talking
badass
about
Cody
it,
Rhodes. Yes.
but it's one of those things where like I love showing this kind of stuff because the guy's grown so much since these days. So you can see me in the background there. That's me as a little sophomore in high school there, just trying to look tough in the middle with my short hair and lanky neck and all that. And then there's Cody up front with his well, it's not his dog, but they brought a dog for the
Ah!
but this is back in Cody's high school days here. He was an amazing amateur wrestler, and he's somebody that I've been obviously pulling for a long time. So
Of course.
I always am very biased towards my opinions of Cody and of AEW, especially because I'm watched the guy win 2 state championships in high school, then followed his career through AEW and WWE, or sorry, OVW, WWE, and now of course AEW. So it's been a trip, but that's something that not many people have seen is this picture. I mean, I've got like in my closet over here in my office, I've got like DVDs and VHS tapes of like our wrestling matches and stuff like that, which is
That's so great.
maybe I'll upload those one day, like Cody's state championship match. I wonder if it's like,
Oh my God. I wonder. That would be so fun. That would be
yeah.
great.
I'll try to reach out to him though before I do that. I don't want to like
Yeah.
embarrass him or put anything out there that he doesn't want out there, but this guy was so like we all knew in high school. We were all like, this guy's gonna be he's gonna be the biggest thing in the world one day. Like this guy, he was the man in high school. But and a lot,
I went to high school with a UFC fighter.
who did you go to school with?
Ryan Benoit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. He
I know
was
who
in my
that is.
graduating class. My daughter's trying to get in again.
Something a lot of people don't know about Cody also is he was a thespian in high school. He was in like the acting team.
I believe it.
So it was one of those things where like you always kind of knew like this guy's gonna go into pro wrestling, but he like never really. It seemed like he never really wanted to in high school. He went off to do like acting in California after high school. He had offers like at like Penn State to wrestle on scholarship and stuff. And
Is that why he wears all the Penn State stuff?
yeah, yeah. But he turned it down to go act. I believe he actually lived out there with Diamond Dallas Page at the time.
Oh.
And then not too long after wound up signing with OVW, and the rest is history. But watching that dude doing what he's doing now has just been a
Gotta be wholesome.
trip.
Very wholesome.
Demon Diva, who'd you go to high school with?
So,
MLB.
MLB.
And that's for everybody. Did anybody else here happen to go to high
I
school
went to
or
high
any
school
school?
with an MLB player. Oh man, I'm still Corey Basinger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to high school with him. I went to high school with Ryan Benoit, who's still my friend. I'm still friends with him on Facebook. I saw him because he was like talking about how he's gonna fight again, and I couldn't say anything. But yeah, my high school was part of a Lifetime movie, so they made a Lifetime movie. Oh, she said
Johnny
it.
Molina.
Nice,
Very.
nice.
Oh, Demon Diva. I don't know if you know this or not. I think I brought this up in one of the chats before, but I'm almost.
Oh no, we had talked about this off air.
Oh, okay, I'm almost positive that I bought my WrestleMania 33 ticket from you. I'm almost positive. I bought it through Ticket Drew, who I know through Wrestle Rumble, and I think I met you at a pool in where was it? Orlando. It was like a hotel pool, and I think it was your ticket that I got. I'm almost positive. And that picture is like my profile picture on everything is me at that show still to this day.
Yay.
But yeah, small world, really small world.
Elliot went to high school with James Tosland, world champion motorcycle rider. Good
Oh, that's
dude.
wild.
That's crazy. Who else? I didn't go to. Like I said, my high school, my graduating class, they made a Lifetime movie about it because it made national news. That's all I'll say.
Demon Diva confirms.
the
That was me.
alleged ticket exchange.
It felt like a drug deal. It kind of did, because
Uh,
I think I had just like, because I can't remember how much the tickets were. It was a couple $100 at least, and they were really good seats, by the way. Like, I had a fucking blast. But yeah, I think I had to have had cash, so I probably just pulled out like a big wad of cash and like handed it to her. I don't know. It was weird because I never met Drew before. I'd just been talking to him through like text and stuff. I know Matt, who runs Wrestle Rumble, and like he linked us up. So I didn't know Drew at all. So like I didn't know if he was gonna like just take my money and run, or if like he wasn't gonna meet up with me, or because I went down to Orlando without tickets. I had NXT tickets, but not WrestleMania tickets. So I was like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then yeah, I was just sitting there. They had like a bucket of beer in the pool, and they gave me a beer, and just sat there and hung out with those.
oh yeah,
Then Demon Diva came up with the ticket.
nice. Oh,
Um,
the Ben Cook, he was there a few years before me, but I went to the same high school as Kevin Richardson. I actually lived in Orlando and was supposed to go to the same high school that pretty much all the NSYNC and Backstreet Boy guys went to, and Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady went to high
oh,
school that, yeah. So it was called Dr. Phillips High School. I was supposed to go to their theater magnet program, their performing arts magnet program, and then obviously I moved away. Um, but yeah. What did you guys do with your Mania 36 tickets? I didn't get one. I was supposed to go, but I never got one. I got a refund for my NXT tickets.
and I
So
was not planning on going, so I didn't have to worry about it.
I was gonna go with the Wrestling Observer people. I was gonna go with like Brian Alvarez and Craig and producer Rob and all of them. That's who I was gonna go with. But
Brian Alvarez, underrated independent wrestler, by the way. He had some
yes, he's had really good matches with Orange Cassidy and Marco Stunt. They were really good.
yeah.
And Nick Gage.
Had one with who did he wrestle with? Black Label Pro. Maybe it was
Nick Gage.
who's that?
He wrestled Nick Gage
Oh, right.
with
Yeah,
Tom Waller, the Chop and Roll Express.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. I like Brian Alvarez a lot.
I do too. He's such a sweetheart. I don't understand why I know why people do, but he's such a sweetheart. He really does have a heart of gold. And like I said last time, no one's talking about how every freaking day on Wrestling Observer Live, he's interviewing wrestlers, independent wrestlers that have been directly affected from the pandemic, trying to get them plugs and stuff. But oh no, we're gonna talk about how he complained about one thing for no
All right.
reason. Oh
Who would
man.
y'all want to hear from, by the way? Let us know in the chat. Like, I have access to a lot of indie wrestling. On my personal podcast, which has kind of become like an overlap of this, like, I have a ton of independent wrestling interviews on my podcast feed. So, like, if there's anybody that you really want to hear from the world of independent wrestling, me and Jesse can probably get them on here without
Yeah,
y'all can see them and hear from them.
that would
So
be
yeah,
fun.
no suggestions.
Dude, like I said, I want to have Joey Janelle and do the DVD Instagram filter and play Pong. The bong?
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Let's see. What if Royal Rumble next year at Safeco Field? Number 27, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Dude, I want him in AEW more than WWE. They would bury his ass in WWE. I feel like he would throw down with Kenny Omega again. I'd like to see him with Darby Allin, too.
Yeah, but
Okada is legit on my like Mount Rushmore. I think I did say that, didn't I?
who, Okada?
Yeah, I
Or
think I did say Okada was on there.
I think you had. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see. Here's the thing with Okada. Like, what he has to weigh out is, he's basically reached like god level status with New Japan. Like, he's like
Yeah.
he's basically like the best IWGP heavyweight champion of all time, as far as I'm concerned at this point. Like, between all of his title reigns and his like 5 to whatever, like 7-star matches and stuff like that he's had. I mean, there's other people we can argue for, but like Okada's way up there, if not at the tippy top for me at this point. And similar to Nakamura, where it's like there's not really much more they can accomplish with New Japan. And then you'd get like the worldwide exposure from being with the WWE or AEW. But then also you got to think about like Okada had to run in Impact Wrestling that was like laughably bad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his fault. They just booked him in like these weird, stupid storylines. And I don't think that AEW or WWE would do that because he hadn't, you know what I mean. He was on his excursion, so like he was relatively unknown when he had his run in TNA. But like, you gotta look at someone like Nakamura though and be like, okay, well he was the man over here, and then he went over there, and now he's just kind of like a mid-card background level type guy. Like he's nothing special anymore, which is really, really, really sad.
Yeah.
AEW might be better, like because they might not screw him up, like the WWE might.
Yeah.
So much like part of me too. It just feels so bad for some of these guys because like Okada should want to go to the WWE. But he's got to have all these reservations as to, like all these reasons why he wouldn't want to. But it's just it's a rock and a hard place, you know, because there's a lot of cool things you could do in NXT and on the main roster. But you got to look at the track record and be like, I wouldn't have any faith that they would book me correctly. Probably just wouldn't go if he's making good money in New Japan, which he is. Like
he's a freaking rock star in Japan too.
Yeah.
And like
he's the man.
He is, and another thing that's kind of that I'm thinking about as we're sitting here discussing like Okada and why would he want to come to WWE, especially after how they're handling this pandemic. It's going to be very interesting to see how this impacts future signings. Because if I'm an independent wrestler, and yeah, maybe it's been my dream to work for WWE, but I see how they're treating their wrestlers in the middle of a friggin' pandemic, and I see how they're handling this, I'm going to be hesitant. I mean, obviously, my opinion does not matter at all because I'm not even close to being a wrestler. I don't think like a wrestler, so I can't speak for any wrestler. But just logistically, like if I had a friend who was like a wrestler looking to go into WWE, I'd be like, hold the phone now. Like, you see what they're doing right now? Like, homie, chill. Like, for real, look at this. They're making you work in the middle of a pandemic. Someone tested positive and they're still like, you know. So I don't know. It's just, it'll be interesting to see how this whole situation and WWE's handling the situation impacts future signings.
Well, there's people in the chat saying like Okada versus Moxley in AEW. That'd be interesting. Okada versus Cena or Okada versus Brock. I mean, those are all super interesting.
Okada versus Brock would be epic.
Well, you would think so because you would think they'd be able to do the same with Nakamura, and that's where I have my reservations and my issues because Nakamura and Brock Lesnar have a history. They wrestled each other in New Japan for the IWGP Championship. Like they're like Nakamura during the end of his run, in my opinion, that I could be wrong, but for me personally, the most interesting person in all of wrestling, regardless of the company, was Nakamura. Like I was subscribed to New Japan World. Like, I watched all of his big matches. When he wrestled AJ at Wrestle Kingdom in his last New Japan match, like, it was insane. Or I think it was, like, second to last, but it was insane. Yeah, so good. I mean, he had been built through that system. Like, he was a young boy, like, all the way through, did his excursions and all the way through. And became, like, one of the top guys. He's considered probably the best IWGP Intercontinental Champion of all time. He had the world title a few times, and there was no reason why like he couldn't have been built up to be someone who was like a legitimate challenger to Brock Lesnar. It could have been incredible. And now what we're getting, I will say, I like the team of Sami Zayn, Nakamura, and Cesaro. Like I love them together, but they're not really seen as kind of like a joke. Also at the same
like a rat pack, like you know what I mean, like a little tiny like I wanted to say like. Not like a gang, but like I said, like a little like the group of like bullies in school that you like didn't take seriously, like kind of like jokey, like we're mean but we're funny mean, like don't take us too seriously. We're being mean, but it's just fun, bro. It's just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, bro.
That was really good. That's a really good impression.
Hey, are you homeless? You want some money? Oh, I'm not gonna give you any. Just a prank, bro. Shout out Filthy Frank, aka Joji. aka Papa Franku, aka Pink Guy, aka Salamander Man, aka freaking everything, Safari Man. Hey man, trip down memory lane on that one. But yeah, someone November 15th said Nakamura mic skills halted his run in WWE. Yeah, a little bit, but why not give him a mouthpiece then? Like you have Paul Heyman.
Sami Zayn worked.
There's you have plenty of people that can talk for him.
I'll be right back. I go get my computer charger.
Sure. Even like right now, Malcolm Bivens, aka Stokely Hathaway,
Yes.
an incredible mouthpiece. Incredible. He could talk for anybody. You know, put him with Nakamura. You could put. I mean, they put Sami Zayn with Nakamura. They've put. They probably should have put Heyman with him. Is what I think. Whether or not he feuded with Brock or teamed with Brock or something, I think Paul Heyman would have been perfect. And there's a lot of examples of people who could have helped a lot. And I felt like that was going to be an issue with Nakamura to a degree because he does speak very broken English. It's understandable. Like you can understand what he's saying, but you have to like really lean in and listen. But that necessarily isn't a bad thing either. Because Jake the Snake's made a career on having, he's not speaking Japanese obviously, but Jake the Snake talks in a very low voice so that like you kind of have to be quiet and pay attention. And he does that intentionally. Because it forces you to pay attention.
I'm back.
And yes, and Demon Diva says Sami Zayn is his mouthpiece. Right, yes.
That's what I said.
So and there's nothing wrong with that.
Girl.
It's worked well. I think the pairing of them, with Sami Zayn and I like that Cesaro is lumped in there too now. I mean, hopefully it just gives the three of them something to do. The Joey Janela glasses.
Yes, work.
Bad boy.
I'm a bad, bad girl. Bow. Can you see my computer screen?
See the reflection a little bit, but you can't see what.
Okay. Well, it's
no exclusive OnlyFans pictures being
No, nothing.
broadcasted off of your
I
glasses.
don't see anything. I don't have anything open. There's a picture of my really fat kitty cat. From. No, yeah, I'll send it to you. My epic fat kitty cat that I used to have, Mittens, R.I.P.
Michelle says she's gonna come back as a bad girl. Yep, you got it.
I just did. I saw that, and I was inspired.
Corey Williams likes Asuka just talking in her native Japanese. Yeah, nothing really wrong with that either.
I love that.
Sure, but there is just a little bit of a ceiling that you're gonna deal with that, where like, no one's gonna understand your promo, but it does add variety, and I love the Japanese like culture and everything. Like,
Me too.
Japanese wrestling and all, like I love it.
You're on the same longitude as Japan.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we went live. I don't know if I can get the.
No, it's not an innuendo. It's not about my private areas. Stop it.
Oh wait, hold on, let's. No, she really has a fat cat. Gel.
Joe.
Right? Gel.
Gel.
Joined the chat. I think it's a funny comment.
I thought it was hilarious. Because I was thinking about that. I was like, dang. Yes, this is Jessi After Dark. Did you see my wrestling Twitter After Dark post about drinking caffeine past like 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
I was like, y'all, go to my OnlyFans for that kind of stuff. Here's some caffeine.
There you go. Yeah, Twitter After Dark's getting kind of nuts.
Work. If you got it, flaunt it. I don't have a problem with it.
Of course. I've told you before, on and off stream. Like, market for an OnlyFans for me, I'd be the first one to just do it.
And I'd be like, yes, work.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Why not make that bank?
You're killing it. I won't like dox you at all, but like Jessi's told me what she's making on OnlyFans, and like I'm
blessed.
Can't fucking hate on it.
I'm blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Blessed, yeah. I wish I was you right now.
And not a J. Gel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gel. And thank you for in the chat. You've been in like all of our live chats.
Yes.
Appreciate it. It's
gone a bit Marty McFly up in here. That's what they said. Wrestling Twitter after dark was great. I agree. I'm all about body positivity. I'm all about like women supporting other women. So I think it's great. I really don't like women insulting other women. I think it's shameful. But yeah, so I thought wrestling at Twitter after dark was great, but did not participate. I never participate in any of those hashtags. I
I
support
fully
them.
expect to find my future wife through one of those hashtags.
Yes,
That's
word.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Look,
Even if I don't like your pictures, I'm
available.
looking.
He's available. He's a good
I
dude.
Yeah, I'm a good guy. I'm a
I enjoy it.
nerd.
I'm your I'm your wrestler. I'm your reference.
Oh, okay. So Jessica can
Yeah,
vouch for me.
I can vouch. He's a
Um,
good dude. Good dude.
I'll send her some of my private type, like kind of like what you would get from an only.
Whoa,
And
yes.
then if she approves of that, then I'll have like that other stamp of approval. It's like, okay, yeah, go with this guy because you know.
Yes, I can
Um,
vouch for you. I can't vouch for those like areas, but I'm assuming. I'm judging a book by its cover.
yeah, good assumption.
Yes. Okay,
But
okay, November 15th it said this a couple times, so we should probably get to it.
go for it.
Exalted One is a copy of Vince McMahon. Okay, here's my opinion on that. I thought it was like funny the first couple times, but it's like yeah, at this point it's kind of like I think it's kind of funny, but I can see why people would hate it. I kind of love it. Like I'm living for it because Vince like treated him like poo poo. Um, but I think it's funny, but I can totally see why people would hate it, and I can totally see how people could be critical of it. But I mean, hell, I mean, why not at work and stay single? I don't know, man. Being single is okay, but if Steven wants to find a mate, you can find a mate. It's
I
mate.
mean, I like being single, but at the same time, it's like, so to be full transparency, like a lot of the time, my relationships don't work out because of what I do for work. Like because my schedule is like incredibly weird. Like basically, I've said it before on stream. My day to day life hasn't changed at all because of the pandemic. Because I'm already working from home and I'm mainly video edit all week. Like I'm just doing MMA on point stuff like pretty much the whole week. So like, and then like when the UFC events are that like I have to cover and stuff, like it's Saturday nights. So like when people are out doing stuff, I'm usually busy with the fights and stuff like that. Or you know Monday night I'm watching Raw or you know whatever it is. Like the stuff that I'm involved with tends to kind of prevent me from having a social life that most people would normally have. So usually when I start dating people, I have to be like, I've heard Sam Roberts talk about this on his podcast as well, and it's a good point. But like, I'm incredibly upfront about who I really am, like immediately in these kind of scenarios. Like on like first dates, like you're gonna know that like I'm a huge wrestling and MMA fan. This is
Yeah,
for work.
you're real.
This is,
You're honest.
and sometimes it goes over really well. Sometimes I scare these chicks off like immediately because they're like,
Well, they're not worth your time. They're
right,
not worth your
right.
time. Bye.
But a lot of the time it'll start good and then it'll progressively get worse because they realize like I'm not kidding about this. Like if you see my office, like if you look in this room, I mean it looks the closest thing I can compare it to is like the 40-year-old virgin. I have just action figures all over this place and like
I wouldn't compare it to that.
well, but and like kind of, but it kind of is because like if you're not expecting it and you open the door to my office and you look in here, you're gonna be like,
Collection.
what is going on with this guy? So it's one of those things where like relationships usually start off pretty well, but then you know after you know a few months of like them wanting to do something on Saturday night with like me and their friends and like I'm never available because of UFC shows, it starts becoming an issue. So it's
You'll
just
find someone. You gotta find someone that likes the same shit. That's what you gotta
well, and that's why I keep my eye on the Twitter stuff
do.
because what's the one that everyone always does? It's like
The fine women
yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah,
a
that
great
one I also
hashtag.
don't participate in at all.
Yeah,
It's no,
those I'm always looking at those
yeah,
like the
no
fine
problem.
women of
Fine women watch wrestling or
watch
something like
wrestling.
that. I'm like, I always look, I'm like, yes, girls work. Do you see my
Yeah,
fat cat in the reflection of my glasses?
Yeah, I tried to put it up on the stream, but I can't because it's through Skype.
Well, I'm like, here. I've been having. Can you see?
You can kind of see it.
Yes. Okay. All right.
But
Yes.
Demon Diva says, "LOL, you just need to find someone who gets it." Yeah, I know. Just that's kind of the issue. Unfortunately, is like I need to find someone who gets it. And there's like I've made a lot of really good girlfriends through this kind of like girlfriends, like actual friends through wrestling, that are and stuff. Yeah, like Jessi, Mary. I have a really good friend Kayla, known as the Sheenom on Twitter. We go to wrestling shows like together all the time when I lived in Nashville
yeah.
and stuff. Like she's awesome. You know, a good friend of mine. So like there's like a lot of friends that I've made that do those hashtags that I'm just supporting as far as like friends, just trying to kind of pump them up, being positive and stuff.
Oh, you're so sweet.
But like there's also some chicks I see on there where I'm like, ooh, I wonder if she's single because maybe she gets it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Gel says, Steven, we can talk about how how awful it is we didn't get Jessi reaction videos today. That'd have been interesting. Jessi having those WCW Nitro parties they used to promote on during the
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I got a promo code.
Yeah, Pizza Hut pizza, and call the WCW hotline and talk to a recording of Mean Gene Okerlund telling you that.
Yes. Oh my God. That's how I got into wrestling. Actually, was not that, but my was in the Attitude Era and stuff. During the Monday Night Wars, my cousin was really, really into wrestling, and he came down for like a spring break and was watching it. And so I got into it, and then I kind of stopped watching after a while. I think we started like moving, and so then I like lost it, and then I got back into it in 2014. Or wait, it was right when CM Punk was leaving. What happened was I didn't have cable for a long time, and then I got cable, and I got back into it. I'll be the first to admit I don't know everything about wrestling. Like I don't claim to be like an expert or like the loyalist fan ever, but I love it so much. Can you? Sorry, my husband is like texting me about our daughter, and I'm like,
if you need to take care of something, I'll.
No, she's just they're eating. Her and our neighbor are doing a social distancing picnic, and so she's sitting in the lanai, which is like our porch, like our screen and porch, and the neighbor's like sitting at the outside, and I guess Scarlett's not eating her food.
Oh, gotcha.
Well,
November 15 says Steven is thirsty.
no, he's not.
He said just kidding afterwards.
Oh.
With a little laughing bit. I used to be incredibly thirsty. I'm not gonna lie.
What's wrong with being thirsty?
Well, especially when I was in like my 20s. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm almost
Who
32,
isn't?
so it's definitely slowing down as far as like the thirst level is absolutely decreased over the years. But in my 20s, yeah, 100%. If I was in my 20s right now and I saw all these hashtags, I'd be in some real trouble because that,
Woo!
yeah, not good.
You'd have one big buff arm.
Me? Oh. My forearms are fucking jacked.
Yeah.
November 16 or November 15 says Steven versus Brock Lesnar. Yeah, let's not do that. I want nothing to do with a fight against Brock Lesnar.
Could your brother take him?
Chance. Getting old, yeah. Getting old.
Getting old. Could your brother take Brock Lesnar?
No. My brother is a professional boxing trainer, for those of you who don't know, so like he can hold his own, but that's not against Brock. Brock's just just people who don't follow MMA especially don't get it. Like
don't.
Brock to accomplish what he accomplished in the UFC with the little experience he had is like no one else is gonna do that in history. Like Bobby Lashley has had a decent MMA career. Jake Hager. Kind of a joke of an MMA career, if I'm being honest. The guys he's fought have been complete cans. They more so resemble a Jack Swagger fan than like an actual MMA fighter. Like he's fighting total cans. But Brock.
Oh.
But Brock went in there and just he had a great career considering the circumstances.
Dude, Brock Lesnar is such a freaking goat, and people don't understand how good he is. Like, and it makes me so mad. Like he is, we talk. I feel like we talk about this every stream. Like the Brock Lesnar disrespect. Like I dare you to go tell him to his face what you think of him. Like, dude, legit scares me. But he also, okay, this messes with me. He's a dad.
Yeah.
Like, he's a dad. Can you imagine, like, Brock Lesnar being your dad? Like, that,
Okay.
like, I would never break any rule ever.
Yeah.
Or, like, trying to date someone and then you, like, ring the doorbell and Brock freaking Lesnar standing there, like, with a shotgun. Like, what? Like, whew, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Forget that. Um, yeah. Want nothing to do with anything like that.
I'm gonna wear these glasses every stream. I feel like it gives me such coolness.
Demon Diva's talking about her love for Brock Lesnar. Uh, says that he loves that she calls him Beastie.
Aww. Does he really? I haven't met him. I want to meet him. I
I
need to
told
meet
you.
him.
I think I told you before about how my dad's retired now, but he worked for the same company for like 30 something years, and
Yes.
out of Minnesota. And my dad's business partner, like one of his best friends, is one of the few people that trains with Brock Lesnar, like in his gym. He's like part of his like small circle of like 10 people that he trains with. So I've actually heard some stories about Brock being actually a really nice, cool guy. He's just very private. There's really no other way to put it. Like he doesn't really like being in crowds. He doesn't like feeling like he's a caged animal or like a monkey who's supposed to be out there dancing for the public. He's really business. He makes a lot of money to show up for the WWE. And I can confirm this. He doesn't like being a pro wrestler, straight up. Like I've heard things secondhand from people who've talked to him that have said like he hates was the exact words that I heard. He hates wrestling for the WWE. But he makes so much money doing it and he works so few shows that like why wouldn't he do it? And he doesn't have to worry about getting actually punched in the face and stuff like that. Like and it just is what it is. He's really good at it. He makes a ton of money and you know, it just is what it is. But apparently as far as like his close group of friends, his family, all that stuff, they say he's a really good guy.
Yeah. Have you seen that video of him at like University of Minnesota, like giving all the kids high fives and stuff? It's so
Yeah.
wholesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
awesome.
it.
That's awesome.
Like I said, he's a dad. He gets it.
Well, he's like the only guy ever to like move from like the coldest part of North Dakota to like a colder part in Canada
Dude,
just to
yes,
be away
like
from
Saskatchewan.
people even more. Yeah.
Like, he is just, I would love to hang out with him. He seems, but I would not want to piss him off. Like, if you get on his bad side, I feel like you could never get on his good side ever. Like, I feel like there's just like you have one chance, and then it's no chance in hell.
No chance.
No chance in hell. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I know somebody who met him backstage, and said like he's like the one person that they like legit were scared of. I was like, man, I want to meet him so bad. Like when I was at, okay, this is turning into like a really fun stream. So when I went to Raw most recently, it was before. When was that? It was last year. It was last year. It was February. Or was it January? I don't know. Beginning of the year last year. We went to Raw and Brock Lesnar was there, and I was like in like the third row on the floor, and I was like, "Thanks for coming. I know this place is really shitty. I know, like I wouldn't want to be here either, man. We suck. Yeah, I totally get it." And he was like looking at me, cracking up. It was really funny.
Oh, that's
He's cool as
hilarious.
hell. He's cool as hell. You just gotta be chill. You just gotta be real and chill. Don't take it so freaking seriously.
Jell says Braun pissed him off and got a receipt real quick. Yeah, he did. That was amazing.
When was that? Oh,
That was
right. No, you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, where Strowman basically kneed Brock in I believe the stomach, like for real, and then Brock just punched
Right in the
him in the face.
diverticulitis.
What's that?
Right in the diverticulitis.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that people discredit Brock for. When he won the UFC title the first time, he had diverticulitis and nobody like knew. Like he was sick his whole UFC career and still won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Right. Dude's a beast, for real.
Yeah. Demon Diva says that she has a video of Brock smirking at her after she called him Beastie. Yeah, definitely send that. I definitely want to see that.
I want to
Swamp Monster Strowman.
Oh my God. He's been doing some things on social media that have been testy.
Yeah,
Like
I wasn't a
talk,
fan of him talking about the independent wrestlers the way that he did, about them like
yeah.
needing to get like real jobs and stuff like that. Like, I mean, they're kind of in that position, but like he seemed really what's the right word? Tone deaf, kind of. You know what I mean? Like he was really like,
Inconsiderate.
yeah, inconsiderate. That's the perfect word. Really inconsiderate about it, especially for a guy who never had to work the indie scene. Like he never had to work indies. He was. I mean, he probably wasn't making a ton of money doing strongman, but like he was. That's what he did before wrestling. He didn't travel town to town working for a handshake and a hot dog for 5-10 years before getting signed to the WWE. Like he doesn't know what it's like to be these guys. And
The guy
you know,
that got me my Christmas tree was doing strongman competitions. The guy that helped me get my Christmas tree up on my car.
oh, really? Probably tossed it over his head like a cat.
I was like,
Right,
well, I saw him lift it like with really good form, and I was like, damn, bro, you got good lift. And so he started
Demon,
talking.
Demon Diva says he's a hillbilly and acts like one. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, but I will say, like, I watched that.
My kid is a
Yeah,
yeah.
and he seems like a good guy in that. Like, he's super proud of his dad for being like this softball god, which
Yeah.
I didn't even know grown men played professional softball.
I did not know that.
I loved playing softball, and like in college I played intramural softball and stuff. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, like he seemed like such a genuinely good dude in that. And his pro wrestling character doesn't really portray that at all. And then like what he's been doing on social media lately doesn't really portray him being a good guy either. So it's I gotta go based on like what I've seen lately. I'm not a fan. I'm not even a fan of him as a wrestler. Like I don't think he brings nothing to the table for me other than like size and strength. But
Yeah.
you could take someone like Keith Lee who's gonna do that same thing
Dude, I love Keith.
a trillion times better.
I love Keith Lee so much. He's so like him and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. I was so upset that it didn't last longer than it did. Like that's what she said, but I was really upset. Like,
But I love Brock's reaction. He's like, "Well, that's a big boy." No.
yeah,
Um,
that was so.
Elliot Harris asked, "Do you guys think we'll ever see Lars Sullivan again, or is he toast?" I think he's toast. What do you think?
Well, I think he is not because that they're afraid that he will get backlash. I think that the fact that he was supposed to debut and had a panic attack, the day he was supposed to debut, and now that all this stuff has come out that he was like super racist and super
It's homophobic. It was like
yeah,
the
he
big,
was he was homophobic, and then he did that stuff for pay. Like I feel like he needs to do a lot of soul searching, and I feel like he needs to really I don't think the WWE is the right place for him. I don't think being in the public spotlight is the best place for him. If that's putting it nicely.
Yeah. Well, I'll say the only thing I've been impressed with as far as he's concerned, he was a part of that 6-man ladder match for the NXT North American Championship in New Orleans a few years ago. He was a part of that, and that match was incredible. That was one of my favorite ladder matches ever. I was there live for it. Maybe I'm a little biased, but that was one of my favorite ladder matches ever, and he was a part of that. Outside of that, nothing that Lars Sullivan brought to the table impressed me. In the similar fashion of Braun Strowman, they're big men who can do much better things in 2020 with the way that the wrestling style is. Even like someone like Donovan Dijak, or what do they call him now?
Dijakovic.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the same kind of size as those guys, but he has like the height, and he can do a trillion different things. Like he's totally diverse. Punishment Martinez, like there's all these big guys who like, if you're gonna push Lars Sullivan, why don't you just push what's Punishment's name? Damian Priest, I think.
Damian Priest, yes.
Like, why not push someone like that? Push Keith Lee. These hybrid wrestlers who can do every style of wrestling and have the same kind of power and size. I don't know why you would go with like a one-dimensional.
Right?
When you have all these
You have there's so much, like, I love a big, multi-talented man. It's true. Like, they are so, because what they do is you see like a Keith Lee, for instance. I really like Keith Lee. You see him, you go, whatever. Then you see his athleticism, his agility, his fluidity, and you're like, damn, like seriously, like, and it's so fascinating and fun to watch, and it makes you want to root for him because it's just like in my mind, it's like, wow, someone that big and robust and strong shouldn't be able to do that, but there he is out there doing it, like an elite gymnast, you know?
Yep.
And it's really cool, and I feel like everyone gets super into it, and we need more.
It gets over fast. Like Keith Lee's few times that he's been on the main roster, the fans have gone nuts for it.
Yes,
So
it's awesome.
I'm all about that. Julian asked what softball is. He said he doesn't have it in Germany. Shout out to you watching from Germany. That's awesome.
Yes.
He says it's
Yeah.
probably some sort of baseball. Basically, it's like a much larger ball, and you would normally see women playing. Like it's like a collegiate sport for females. I don't think there's like a male college outside of like intramurals. I don't think there's like an NCAA like men's softball division. It's generally played by women. The ball's larger and
Yeah.
they pitch underhand, and they're closer to the mound. So like even though they're pitching underhand and it's technically slower, it still comes in relative to the kind of speed you would see with like an overhand pitcher in baseball because of the distance from the plate to the mound. So it's like a highly it's like base. I hate to say it like this because it sounds kind of sexist, but it's like baseball for women. But there are men who play it, like Braun Strowman's dad. And I think kind of the name of the game for those guys is like how far out of the park can you hit the ball? Because some of those dudes hit a home run like every time they're at bat. So like the strategy is actually, from my understanding, is to like purposely like load the bases and then hit grand slams and stuff as much as you can to drive in runs. At least that's how I've viewed it. But it's a lot of fun to play, especially if you're someone like me that like if I want to go play softball right now, I
It's
feel
a
comfortable.
in German it's a Weiche ball, I believe.
Oh, you found the
Yeah, Weiche ball. I don't know if that doesn't sound right to me as someone who lived in Germany for 3 months, but Weiche ball.
that's really
But
good term.
it's a lighter baseball, like baseball light.
And it's something where like I could jump on a softball field right now and like have a good time. But like if somebody was throwing like 90-mile-an-hour fastballs or like curveballs and stuff at me, I wouldn't want to play. You know what I mean? Like I'd be
Yeah.
terrified. Um,
Um, G- uh, Gal said, I got here late. Did you already talk about Ronda? No, I forgot about
we haven't.
that.
Yeah, we can definitely. And by the way, it's a good time to mention super chats prioritize. So just,
Yes, we're
we will prioritize your question. I know. Thank you so much for everyone who joined the chat because I know we've missed stuff because it's actually been moving pretty quickly. A lot of comments. But if you want to make sure we don't miss something, then send the super chat and we'll make sure to dive deep on your question, statement, comment, all that stuff. But go ahead, Jesse. What are your thoughts on all this Ronda Rousey stuff?
I was like shocked at first. I was like, dang. I was like, well, I can understand why she would be angry and bitter and because she did get kind of that reaction, and I was like, well, I can kind of get it. I don't think it's cool that you think that at all. But then last night, the interviewer, I like her a lot, Sarah Schreiber, um, she asked Shayna Baszler about Ronda Rousey's comments. And I go, oh, it's a work. It's a freaking work. It's a
Right.
work. It is. It's a work. That's what I think.
I think it's work as well. Probably. I think that she said. I think she's going to return to the WWE sooner than later. I think this is all kind of a way to get her name back out there and make it seem like legitimate heat, so that interest when she comes back. Excuse me. No, I'm not suffering from the pandemic. I just yeah, I did something before we started the stream that makes me cough every now and then. But I'll say this. All right, whether it's a work or not. And
Whoa,
I'm just
November, thank you. I don't know what currency that is, but thank you.
either do I. Thank you so much. And I know November you've been sending comments and stuff. So like, if there's something you want to attach to that, like we'll talk about whatever you want. Like you don't have to send another super chat if you don't want. We'll put that out there. Thank you so much for your donation. Very very much appreciated. I'll I'll say
Ow.
this, and this might make some people angry, and I apologize in advance if it does, but I'm just gonna be honest. I think it is fucking laughable that Nia Jax is on the internet talking about if she fought Ronda Rousey, like Ronda Rousey would fucking destroy Nia Jax if Nia Jax actually fucking swung at her or tried to fight her for real in the ring. Nia's over here acting like she's some tough girl who, oh, if I get in the ring with Ronda, she better watch out because I'm gonna knock her out. Fuck off. Like, Ronda would fucking end your career. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. That's so stupid and ignorant for Nia Jax. Of all people, Nia Jax. She looks like the most unathletic person on the whole fucking roster. You're gonna act like you're gonna try to fucking challenge Ronda Rousey to a legitimate fight? Like, I know it could all be a work, and maybe her and Ronda talked before this, and they're just trying to build towards something. That's totally possible. But if she believes in her mind, even for half a fucking second, that she has any chance at all in a real fight against Ronda Rousey, she's completely fucking delusional.
Yeah, and I think, oh, thank you, Demon Diva. I love you, girl. Thank you for that. Hearts, hearts, hearts.
Thank you.
And November 15th said it's Rupa. I don't know, but that's a really cool. What part of the world are you from? That's really cool. I'm ignorant. Excuse my ignorance. I love learning. I just thought it was really interesting that Nia Jax said Ronda wasn't a safe worker when she's the one that broke Becky Lynch's face.
Yeah.
I just don't. Nia stands are ruthless, so I'm gonna, and I can't handle it, so I'm not gonna talk shit if I can't take it.
I'll take all the
Yeah.
heat. If anybody wants to come at me, I mean, my Twitter handle is right underneath me. Go for it.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to. I mean,
Yeah. I
if
mean,
you actually think she stands a chance, you need to be educated. I'm sorry.
well, she's got 2 new knees. She needs to be careful, for one.
New knees, no athleticism, consistently hurts the women that she wrestles against. She can't be out there talking about, like Gel says it here. Did you see Nia in the live chat implying Ronda was taking liberties with Alexa? What a hypocrite. This is somebody who takes liberties with everybody. Like, what?
I wonder if they're starting a feud. Because I just don't feel like Nia Jax, the person, would say something like that. I refuse to believe that she would be silly like that. Like, don't be silly. Come on, girl. It's Ronda Rousey. Like Demon Diva said, she's a Olympic medalist, Ronda Rousey. Like, she's a legit, like, she made her name in UFC fighting for real. Like, I don't know. Like, I have a problem with it. I do. I have a problem with it. I just don't like when women talk shit about other women. I hate it. I'm like, girl.
It can be applied to men as well, because, like, so Corey Williams says, I took it as Nia sticking up for the locker room. Okay. I mean, I understand that, but how often do you hear about the male wrestlers talking about how they could take Brock Lesnar? You know? That doesn't happen. No one's publicly out there being like, oh yeah, I'm going to swing on Brock. Like, I've got a fucking chance. No.
Like, it's like, my thing is saying that, it's like, you don't need to, like, prove yourself that way. That's not the way to prove yourself. Prove yourself in the ring. Prove yourself, like, with your work. You've been gone for a long time, girl. Get some, get in the ring, win some fights, kick some butt, and talk your shit in the ring. You don't need to be getting on social media, like, blasting all this stuff. Like, come on, girl. Like, let's not talk in hypotheticals here. Let's, like, I mean, I say that in the most kayfabe way, obviously. But, like, I don't like that. I think it's petty. I think it's bully behavior. I'm not saying that what Ronda Rousey is saying, if it's true, is cool. But I'm saying, like, don't be talking, don't write checks. Don't let your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash, basically.
Yeah, and I'm with all y'all in the chat. Like, it's totally possible it's all work. It's totally possible. I just don't know why you put it out there. That's all I'm saying. Is, like, I just don't see the point of putting it out there. I say, like, Demon Diva, they're not that dumb. I'm assuming you're talking about the male wrestlers not challenging Brock Lesnar. Yeah, And for Nia to even put that out there, I don't like from this perspective too. Professional wrestling is the art of keeping yourself and your opponent safe. Like, what she's saying is the absolute opposite of what you should be doing as a professional wrestler. You're supposed to be protecting the person in the ring, across the ring from you. And
Yeah.
consistently hurts her opponents, and now she's talking about it. There's nothing that Ronda Rousey says in this Twitter message that isn't true, by the way. I love professional wrestling. I love it to death. But to compare professional wrestling to MMA it's ridiculous. Like these
It's harmful.
it's a completely different thing.
Misinformation.
Yeah. There's some people who are good at both, but it's a completely different thing. We saw what happened when CM Punk went to the UFC.
Woohoo!
Biggest professional wrestling stars in the world when he went to the UFC. And he got his ass kicked by first by Mickey Gall, who's a legitimate like top 15 fighter. So we didn't know how good Mickey Gall was. We can give CM Punk a pass there. He lost to a guy who he should have never fought to begin with. But his second fight, he fought a guy whose actual name is Michael Jackson. Believe it or not, Michael Jackson. He fought a guy named Michael Jackson, who is a part-time fighter, basically a full-time MMA journalist and photographer. The guy barely trains. Yeah, he barely trains. He had boxing fights. He actually lost. He lost to Mickey Gall fight CM Punk the first time, and they had to try to find. They only hired Michael Jackson because he was the only person who CM Punk maybe beat, and
Oh no.
destroyed by Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson beat the shit out of him the entire fight, and
Oof.
and that's the perfect example right there. Like, it's a completely different fucking thing. Brock Lesnar is a total outlier when it comes to somebody who can do both. We've seen other people do both, like I've said, Bobby Lashley, Jake Hager. Even Batista had an MMA fight where he was successful. One MMA fight. We've seen it.
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle was an incredible UFC fighter. He got screwed because he couldn't pass their drug tests and got fired on a 4-fight win streak, which was just unfortunate for him. But it's one of those things where like it's a totally fucking different thing. And I agree with everything Ronda Rousey says here. Like, I love pro wrestling. I have all the respect in the world for independent wrestlers. I mean, especially independent wrestlers. For the work that they put in,
Lord.
very little return and like very little chance of like actually getting to that next level. Like, it's a dime a dozen who make that do become superstars. That were once independent wrestlers. I have all the respect in the world for these people, but they aren't real fighters. It isn't, or it is not a real fight. There's physical. You can get injured. There's a lot of things that can happen. It's a very physical thing. And to be on the road as much as they are, it's incredibly impressive that their bodies hold up. But it is not a real fight. And people, I think the sooner people just accept that as wrestling fans who are denying it, the better off everyone is. Because there's no harm in saying a UFC fighter is doing something different than what a WWE wrestler is. It's a fucking different.
Yeah.
So.
No, I completely agree. You know more about that shit than I do.
Well, and that's the thing. I've seen plenty of wrestlers get injured, right? Even at like indie.
Right. Oh shit,
But
yeah.
I've also seen UFC fighters right after their fights. Like,
Ooh, they got those big limbs growing out.
yeah, they are fucked up after those fights. And they almost all of them wind up in the hospital and with stitches and IVs and everything you can imagine. The stuff you don't see on screen after the fights. It's a different thing. And I just wish that more people understood that are shitting on Ronda about what she's saying. So
yeah, my husband texted me that he has things he needs to do, so we can wrap it up here. Like, not right this second, obviously, but like finalize it. I did see November 15. Did say, who would you like to see the Money in the Bank, both men and women? And I did see Demon Diva's comment earlier about Money in the Bank, and I really don't feel like it should happen this soon. I mean, I feel like they kind of need to, but Money in the Bank is one of those things, kind of like the Royal Rumble, that like it's one of those gimmick pay-per-views that needs to be in front of a crowd, and I'm just not feeling it right now. I'm just not feeling it.
Well, and the adrenaline, like we talked about before from the WrestleMania ladder match, like no crowd. Those bumps hurt so much worse. That you're not getting that adrenaline feed from the audience. So like getting and falling on ladders and getting hit in the head with ladders and chairs and tables and all this other stuff they usually use in those matches, like that's gonna hurt 1,000 times worse with no crowd there. So
Yeah, so like we have really tall ceilings. We have elevated ceilings in our house. And I was changing a light bulb yesterday and I was on a ladder and I was just thinking about ladder matches and I was thinking about it was like super quiet. I was like, if there was a crowd, this is what goes through my head in everyday life, guys. This is an insight into my life. I was like, man, I wish there was a crowd cheering me on. But like in that silence of my house, it's scary as hell. It's scary as hell. And like to have an actual ladder match like that with no crowd, no like distraction, no like, oh my God, my cat is getting under the door and doing the farty thing from the outside. She's reaching underneath and doing the fart thing. The door stopper. Sorry. Um,
Oh, the
but
door stopper. That's what I got you.
the fart thing. That's what I call it. No, but I just feel like that's a match, especially when they're putting their like we were just talking about how it's not a real fight, but it's certainly a oh my God, it's certainly a legitimate physical uh, activity, and I it needs a crowd. It needs a crowd. It needs that oomph, and I feel like the wrestlers need it too.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Corey Williams with another super chat. Thank you so much.
Yes, Corey.
Says before you go, I want to say Asuka dancing and her energy gives me
Yes,
every time she's on.
dude, that's so great. Asuka's mood. Asuka's mood.
Yeah, she's a great performer. Still underutilized in my opinion. She's had some good pushes and stuff, but I mean, she could be spotlighted as like the champion or in the title picture like as often as possible. I'm totally fine with that. I think she's one of the best females on the roster personally.
For sure.
Um, JGZ says, "Did you guys see Overeem's lip after his last fight?" Yeah,
Cool.
it was.
Cool.
Yeah, it was bad. It was similar to Robbie Lawler's lip after he defeated Rory McDonald in their second fight.
Yeah.
Seeing that, lips basically falling off. It's gross. Um, November 15th, Jessie beating Charlotte Flair for the women's championship at WrestleMania.
I can get out of the figure eight. Get out of here. I'm flexible.
Oh yeah, the contortionist.
Yeah, whatever, girl. I'll put you in a figure 16.
Ooh.
Mmm.
Then it says,
Whoa.
I'm main eventing Sophie Stadium next year. Steven main eventing Sophie Stadium next year. I would like to be the special guest announcer.
Yes, we can have our own WrestleMania.
We put on a wrestling show. Yeah. Well, if anyone has anything else before we get out of here, now's the time. If you have any questions, comments, anything that we didn't touch on that you would like us to, feel free, whether it's a super chat or not. Obviously, if it's a super chat, we will dive deep onto it before we get out of here. If it's
We'll
not,
have a dance party.
that's it.
We'll have a super chat dance party. Super chat party. Like a super kick.
Super chat. Party.
Party! Bow,
Chat.
wow, wow, wow.
We're going to get a copyright claim for that.
No, I don't think
Because we
so.
sound exactly like the song.
Yes, just like it. Like word for word. I mean, we hit those tunes, those notes. Mwah.
We hit those.
Perfect.
We hit those. Before we get out of here, and like I said, I'll keep my eye on the chat here, but I do want to talk about our sponsors real quick, starting with Wrestle Rumble. They are currently doing a Intercontinental Championship raffle, which it's the black strap IC title belt, and they were going to give this away for the NXT Takeover contest. Then obviously NXT Takeover isn't happening now, so they have this they want to give away. And to join, all you have to do is it's $1 per entry. I'll probably put like $10-15 in myself. But the chance is to win a replica IC title belt, and they buy those. I believe they buy all of them off WWE.com. So they're legitimate. They usually cost $200, $300, $400 these belts. So for $1 an entry, really really good deal. Also want to give a shout out to Heroes and Legends, which is a memorabilia company that helps us out. And I still have that Bailey I haven't given away. Maybe I'll put it on stream now. I'm trying to give away this Bailey action figure.
Yeah, we're trying. Poor Bailey.
I have some autographs too. Maybe I'll give away some of those. So if anybody wants some free stuff, this is courtesy of Heroes and Legends. I don't know how to win it because we haven't been getting a ton of comments like after the fact. So
Maybe we do like a live chat comment thing.
Yeah, maybe we'll just pick someone from the chat, or if someone wants to let us know in the chat before we get off, if you would like this. This is it's in the package, ready to go. And this is from Heroes and Legends for us to give away on the stream, and it's a great figure. And then I have some other autographs too, some female wrestlers here. I don't know. Let me know if you guys want some autograph 8x10s. Like I've got this Terry Runnels right here from the Attitude Era. If anybody's looking for some Terry Runnels.
Yes.
I've got a Velvet Sky from Impact Wrestling there.
Yeah, it's fat material.
I've got a Lillian Garcia.
Woo, girl, yes.
So, some good female wrestling stuff to give away for y'all for Heroes and Legends. And like I said, I'll just pick some people from the chat or something. I don't know. Hit us up on Twitter.
Steven says he wants it.
Or, what's that?
Steven says he wants it.
Steven, I'll get you something out. You've been super chatting.
Yeah, you've been you
we'll
deserve something.
So we got some free stuff for y'all. Once again, that's from that's courtesy of Heroes and Legends. Make sure to give them a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at HL Pro Wrestling. And also want to give a shout out to my brother real quick. Or shout out to MMA on Point. I'm on their Instagram right now on their account. ATL Boxing ATL. This is my brother Brian Jensen. You can follow him on Instagram at Boxing ATL. He's running.
It's so wholesome. I love this Instagram, you guys.
So you can see, like, he's running classes even right now, with like Parkinson's patients and stuff like that remotely. This is my brother up here in the corner, and he had like I think there was like 60 to 70 people in his last class. And you don't have to be like you don't have to have Parkinson's. You don't have to be like of a certain age or anything like that. He can help you continue to reach your goals if you want to like learn self-defense. Or just get better at boxing if you're a pro boxer or amateur or just an average Joe who just wants to learn how to throw hands and stuff like that. Brian can help you even though we're all quarantined and stuff. Like he'll help you over video. Just give him a follow here on Instagram at BoxingATL and just hit him up and he'll help you out. He'll give you a very, very fair deal. He won't charge you an arm and a leg. And especially if you say that you heard about it through this podcast, he'll definitely hook you up. So once again, that's Brian Jensen. That's my brother, and he's doing great work with a lot of people right now. So I wanted to give him a shout out, and he also helps the podcast out as well in little ways that y'all don't really see. So,
and thank you to Shane Russell he just wanted to say thanks for doing these. I really make it live, but I watch other replays. Thank you so much. Shane's a really good dude, really really sweet guy, and I really really appreciate that. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Shane. Did you have anything you wanted answered or anything along with that? You're more than welcome to ask a question, or if there's anything you want us to say about professional wrestling that you're thinking, I'd be happy to for the donation. Thank you.
Yeah, and then November says, do you think Roman needs to add Jack Hammer to his arsenal after he beats Goldberg? I think that would be nice.
That'd be interesting. That'd be really interesting. Start doing the spear, then the jackhammer.
Spice.
Unlike Moose who goes out of his way to talk about how he doesn't do the jackhammer. His move is called No Jackhammer Needed. It's just a spear. Called the No Jackhammer Needed.
Ooh, that's some tea.
I'm not a big fan of Moose, but it is what it is. Julian says, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the entertainment again.
Oh,
You're welcome, Julian. Thank you for joining us.
We love you, Demon Diva. You're the best. Stay safe,
yes,
girl.
Demon Diva. Thank you. And she has been set as a mod by Jessi, which too. People help out with the moderation.
She lays down the law. Yes.
And November 15th, he says he wants your hoodie. That's funny.
This one?
He says, please do a live chat every day if possible. I don't think it's going to be possible to do every day, but, like, and they're so spur of the moment. So, like, that's why I always say, like, I'm not saying to subscribe to Jessi's YouTube channel, like, for no reason. Like, if you do it, it's free to subscribe. But then you'll also know when we're going live. So, like, so you'll know when we're going live. On our Twitters, we send links out so people know when we're live. But for all we know, like, we could be here tomorrow around the same time. We just probably won't know and probably saying, because what we're not trying to do is advertise something and then not show up. Like, we don't.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Something. Right. So, like, we don't want to advertise at this point because we don't have a set schedule. So we don't want to feel like we're screwing anybody out of their time. So, like, tomorrow we might be on here. It might be 2 days. It might be 3 days. It might be the weekend. I don't know. But if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, then you'll know for sure. And also, if you're following us on Twitter, we're always putting links out.
Yes, for sure. And I think when we set it up and when I set up the stream, it does give a preview notification because I do see some people in there. So yeah. So yeah, just follow us here. And like I said, we don't want to like say we're gonna do something and then not do it. That's not cool. So we're right now just with quarantine. We're just trying to kind of get on here and give you all a distraction and something fun and chitty chatty and super fun and talk about everything that's going on, get some good input. I think there's been some really good input in the stream today, and I love it.
100%. So. Thank you so much, everyone who joined the chat. All I've got to plug in my Twitter. Follow me at FightTalk_. If you're an MMA fan, we're pumping out so much content at MMA On Point. Also, MMA On Point Extras. MMA No Ponto, which is our Portuguese/Brazilian channel. So, if you're a fan of MMA, we got more content than ever. So check that out. Jessi, let everyone know where they can find all your stuff.
Right here is my Twitter handle at Jessi the Buckeye, at JESSITHEBUCKEYE. You can also find me on OnlyFans. Same Twitter handle as my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Jessi the Buckeye. That's where if you want to like slide into my DMs, you can do it there. I have to be in a good headspace to get into my Twitter DMs, so I don't ever go in there because they're horrible. But that's like the best way to support me financially. As you guys know, my husband got laid off, so that's the only income we have going on right now. Super fun stuff. Have a lot of fun over there. It's a really good time. Just follow me on Twitter too. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Steven. Subscribe to his bro. Subscribe to Russell Rumble. All of our friends. Those are the best places to get a hold of me. Also, you can still use my Papa John's pizza code. JESSI25 for 25% off your regular price online order. You can use that code for 25% off through December 31st, 2020. So that is also a good way to let companies know that I am a good influencer and to use me in the future for potential fun partnerships. So I would really appreciate that. Oh, I'm echoing again. Uh-oh.
Perfect timing. Since
yeah.
In many ways, that echoing happens every now and then. Luckily, it's happening towards the end of the episode now, so it shouldn't really affect anything. And I'll also say this. I'm not going to make Jessi say anything. And I'm not going to like call anyone out by name because I don't have it in front of me. But if you want to talk shit about Jessi having a sponsorship with you can go fuck yourself. This girl can hold her own as far as professional wrestling knowledge is concerned, especially like current day wrestling. She watches a lot of the shows. She does live reactions for most of those shows she watches. She knows her stuff. It isn't some weird scenario where they just found some hot chick who doesn't know anything and gave her some money to promote Papa John's, all right? She's legitimate. She deserves what she's got. She knows her stuff. So those of you who think anything otherwise, you don't know what you're talking about, straight up.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I appreciate that.
It's the truth. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. There's no reason for me not, It goes with football, too. You talk football on here. You know all your stuff when it comes to football.
Yes.
It isn't like I'm just talking to somebody who's just doing this for internet clout. Like, you're a fan, and you just what you've got. So people who think otherwise, literally go fuck yourself. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Papa bless.
Well, that'll do it for this episode. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us. We'll let you know when the next one is. I hope everyone has a great day, and we will see you on the next stream.
Bye.